E3 is normally like Christmas for gamers, and we must have been really bad this year because so far, all we've gotten is lumps of coal. With Square Enix's conference this year, people were expecting Final Fantasy XVI, they were expecting Neo: The World Ends With You, Forspoken, and many other titles announced and unannounced. And what did we get? Well, Guardians of the Galaxy. And lots of Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, literally half of the presentation was Guardians of the Galaxy. Regardless of whether the game looks good or bad, people were really burned by the last Marvel outing from Square Enix. And so to spend the first half of your conference discussing this game comes off as very tone deaf with your audience. And I mean, the game looks decent. But did it need to look decent for 20 whole minutes? After what seemed like an agonizingly long amount of time for a game that most people definitely did not tune in for, then they announced pixel remasters of Final Fantasy 1 through 6. Meaning if you don't like the 3D remakes of 3 and 4, and you don't like the ports of 5 and 6, you'll finally be able to play proper versions of those games that look like their NES and SNES versions. However, there's still some problems. For starters, this is only for Steam and mobile, meaning that if you want to play this on Switch or PlayStation like I imagine so many people would, you won't be able to.
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
And furthermore, despite the name Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster Collection, it's actually not a collection. Square Enix has confirmed that each of these titles will be sold individually. And if we look at Square's history of selling their older games, you can expect these to probably not be too reasonably priced. But that's okay, I thought the show was getting back on track after they showed the Pixel Remasters. Okay, we're talking about some games and things that I came here for, that I showed up for. And then they went straight back to talking about Marvel Avengers, a game in which I don't even know a single person who actively plays this. Just pull the plug. Pull the plug. Okay, so then they showed off their mobile games division, which again, showing off a lot of footage from games we've already seen, and then not giving us dates for games that we actually want, like The First Soldier or Near Reincarnation. But that's okay, because they are about to turn this one around, bro. They're about to turn it around. They got Babylon's Fall. You know I've been waiting for this one, but the gameplay that they showed of it was not exactly what I was expecting. It's really hard to say, and keep in mind, this game could still turn out to be fantastic. After all, looking at a game is a lot different than playing it. But I have to say, the animations look stiff, combat also looks stiff, and in terms of the visuals, I just don't know about this one. Again, this game could still shape up fairly well, right? But as things stand right now, this game is looking rough, to say the least. I hope that's not the case. Then they showed Life is Strange. I really don't have an opinion on Life is Strange. So, moving on, the rumor of the Final Fantasy Soulsborne inspired game made the internet go crazy. Everyone was super hyped for this one. And what did we get? What the actual is going on with this game? I legitimately don't even know where to begin with this one. From the fact that this game honestly barely looks better than like a PlayStation 2 or 3 title, to the character designs being some of the worst that I've ever seen from Tetsuya Nomura. I can't even believe that he was the one who designed these. Normally, I quite like his character designs, but this is just, what? And I think the worst part is just how recycled some of these characters look. I mean, this pink-haired guy here is literally Prompto. Even the voice direction of the character sounds like Prompto's voice direction. The main character looks like Corleones from Final Fantasy XV did the fusion dance with Eminem. The gameplay looks okay, I suppose. We were supposed to get a demo, and indeed they did try to upload it to PlayStation Network, but when you downloaded it, the demo files were corrupted. And as of the recording of this video, they still have not fixed that. Mind you, this demo is a limited time, so here's to hoping they'll be expanding the time for the trial. And I think above all else, what the internet has been memeing and what has turned so many people off of this game already is the very atrocious dialogue. Not voice acting before someone says, go watch the trailer in Japanese. The dialogue, what's being said. We get it, bro. You really want to kill Chaos. But my god, do you have to say it 1,000 times within the span of a 2.5-minute trailer? The game is off to a rocky start, to say the very least. So that was Square Enix's E3 2021. Not at all what many of us hoped for. And no, it was not a bad E3 because they just didn't show Final Fantasy XVI, or even because they just didn't show the games that I, in particular, wanted. It was a bad show because how they presented the games that they did want to show off was poorly paced, and what they did show of those games doesn't look appetizing if I'm completely honest, with many of the titles looking somewhat subpar so far. But here's to hoping that they can make up for it at Sony's next State of Play, whenever that is. Shout out to patron Andrew Harrison and the rest of the Ultima community.